Writing a poem in a structure is so difficult. Thankfully, I know a type of poem which doesn't follow a structure. Let's look at it together. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to look at writing free verse poems together, but first we've got to have a little go at our countdown game. Welcome back to another round of the countdown game. You will need a notepad and a pen. Remember, I'm going to fill these 8 boxes with vowels and consonants, and then you're playing against me. You have 30 seconds to make the longest word you can. I'm going to fill the boxes now. Here they go. Let's get ready. Time starts now. Let's get some answers. So the top word you could have got today was illogic, which is a 7-letter word. And the word I got was logic, which is a 5-letter word. Hopefully you had a good go at this today. So today our LI is, can I write a free verse poem? We're going to look at what makes a free verse poem, and then you're going to have a go at writing one of your own. The first thing to know about free verse poems is that it means free choice. You can choose any theme, story, or emotion that you want to write about and gather some ideas. That's a good start point. You need to remember there are no rules, but you should still be trying to describe your topic in a way that will paint a vivid picture in the mind of your reader. This might sound a little confusing at the moment, being given so much freedom, but we're going to look at a famous example together. This is a famous example of a free verse poem. It's called After the Sea Ship by Walt Whitman. After the sea ship, after the whistling winds, after the white-grey sails taut to their spars and ropes, below a myriad waves hastening, lifting up their necks, tending in ceaseless flow toward the track of the ship. Waves of the ocean bubbling and gurgling, blithely prying. Waves, undulating waves, liquid, uneven, emulous waves, toward that whirling current, laughing and buoyant with curves, where the great vessels sailing and taking displace the surface. Larger and smaller waves in the spread of the ocean, yearnfully flowing. The wake of the sea ship after she passes, flashing and frolicsome under the sun. A motley procession with many a fleck of foam and many fragments, following the stately and rapid ship in the wake following. That might seem like a bit of a complicated poem, but what we're going to look at is the poetic devices that are used within this. So don't worry too much if you don't understand all of the topic there. We're looking mainly for poetic devices. I'm going to ask you to find me a poetic device within the poem. Are you ready? Let's have a go. So I would like you to look for onomatopoeia in the poem. Remember, onomatopoeia is a word that sounds like a sound. So crash, bang, something like that. Pause the video now and have a look through the poem. See if you can find any examples of onomatopoeia. Have a go now. Did you manage to find them? The onomatopoeic words were whistling, bubbling, gurgling, and whirling. So you can use this device in your own free verse poem. Let's have a look and see if Walt Whitman used anything else in his poem. Now I'd like you to look for repetition. Repetition is when a same idea or the same word is used more than once. See if you can find any examples of repetition. Again, pause the video, have a look, see what you can find. Did you manage to find any examples of repetition? I found a few. Walt Whitman uses after as the first word for both the first and second line. He also repeats myriad when describing the waves, so that means lots of. Again, in the second stanza, he uses waves twice in the first and second line as the start word. He also continues to use waves in that second line when he's describing what the waves are like. Then in the last stanza, he's using many and many again to emphasize how many there are, that there's lots of something. And then he starts the final line with the word following and ends with the word following. Again, you could use repetition in your free verse poem. Now I'd like you to look for personification. Personification is where we're giving a human quality to something that isn't human. So describing something, say, the sun as staring down at the earth. See what you can find in the poem. Hopefully you managed to find some of these. Walt Whitman uses a lot of personification in his poem. In the first stanza, he describes the myriad waves hastening and lifting up their necks. Now, obviously, a wave doesn't really lift up its neck, but what he's describing is the wave coming up to its peak, then ready to crash down. He also describes the waves as prying, which means they're looking down at the people on the ship. Again, he describes the whirling current as laughing, so maybe it's sort of taunting the people that are on the boat. In the final stanza, he says the ocean is yearnfully flowing. If something's yearning, it means it really wants something, so it really wants the boat to pass over it. And then it's enjoying the sea ship passing over as it's flashing and frolicsome. So frolicsome is when you're enjoying yourself and having lots of fun doing something. Again, personification could be a device you use in your free verse poem. So the final poetic device I would like you to find is alliteration. Remember, that's when words start with the same sound and they're in a row within the sentence. Have a look and see what you can find. Now, Walt Whitman hasn't used a lot of alliteration, but that's fine because if you use too much, you'll start to use words that are unnatural and don't pair together. But let's have a look at the ones that he has done. In the first stanza, in that first line, he's used whistling winds. And then he leaves until the last stanza to use alliteration again. He says flashing and frolicsome and fleck of foam. Now, you can still have a connective word in the middle and it be alliteration, like those and of. You can use that to join two words that start with the same sound. So you might have noticed there's a poetic device we haven't looked at, and that isn't in this poem. That's rhyme. Rhyme is absent from this poem. Free verse poems contain many of the poetic devices that we've just seen, but they do not include rhyme. Now that we know some of the poetic devices, we can think about writing our own free verse poem. Let's just have a reminder of the rules again, and then you can have a go. So, remember, free verse means free choice. It means you can choose a theme, story, or emotion that you want to write about and gather some ideas. You might like to do that before you start writing your poem. Remember, there are no rules, but you should still be trying to describe your topic in a way that will paint a vivid picture in the mind of your reader. To do this, you could use some of the poetic devices we've looked at together, those being alliteration, personification, repetition, and onomatopoeia. Those are great tools for painting a picture in the mind of your reader. Now it's your turn. Go away and have a go at writing your own free verse poem now. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed writing a free verse poem today. Remember to either comment them down below or send them back to me on Google Classroom. I'm looking forward to reading these. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.